Holy shit, dude. I went and picked some psilocybin mushrooms today. I weighed it on a scale, about 16 grams fresh, so equivalent about 1.6 grams if it was dried. But potency is always a lot more when they're fresh. So I had them, and fuck man, like so many insights. It just blows my mind. Like, it just feels like, it really feels like what I imagine enlightenment to be. Here's a photo of Polaroid mushrooms. So I want to kind of talk about the whole trip, because there's a lot of like kind of insights that I had. So I took the lot, and then ran myself a bath, got in the bath, and yeah, I was coming up in the bath. That was crazy. I remember pondering upon what is real, like, or rather, what's true and what's like non-existent. Like, what's true. You know, because I kept having like so many thoughts and concepts about reality, and I was pondering on like what's true, like what the things that I think about, the perceptions that I have, which of them are true, and which of them are just make believe. I don't know, but I remember just looking down at my body, sitting in the bath, and just I don't even remember, and it's fucking hard to describe, but looking at his body and like being like, fuck, this is real. Like, it feels like solid as a rock. Like, this is reality, and I'm in it. I'm fucking playing the game of reality. This is it. You see, we look down at our body and we just think it's the most normal thing. We just think it's like, there's my body. But as I was coming up on mushrooms in the bath, I was looking at my body and I was like, this is the fucking craziest shit ever. What the fuck is this? Another thing I had whilst I was in the bath was like, where am I? Like, where the fuck am I? I mean, you can say where I am in relation to other shit, but then where is everything else, you know? It's like, I'm in the bathroom in relation to every other room in my house. My house is here in relation to the other houses in town that I'm in, and on it goes until it's like, oh, the Earth is here in relation to the other planets, and then the universe is in relation to the other universes, and then it's just like, it's just existence. And so I had a nice time in the bath. But I think when you come up in mushrooms, you get, I do anyway, you get this kind of like your body feels kind of jelly-ish, and yeah. Anyway, so I got out of the bath, and I was feeling freezing cold. I went to go in my bed, and I was I was getting ready to go out to go watch a performance that my partner was in, a theatre performance, a play kind of thing. So I was going out and I was in bed and I was like, fuck, I've got to like leave pretty soon. And I just remember being in bed, like getting into bed, like the feeling of bed, like the feeling of the gravity, the feeling of my bed, of my body against the bed, so fucking comforting, so fucking like, it's so nice. And I remember just kind of giggling, because it was just like, just all the sensations was like, I can't believe that there's something rather than nothing, like all these fucking sensations, this is amazing. Anyway, so like, I gotta get somewhere quick, so I fucking jumped out of bed, did fucking 20 push-ups, put some fucking reggae music on and got fucking, let's go, fast paced, pump it. It was sick. So yeah, I got ready. I went to go and pat my dogs, which is always the nicest thing ever when you're tripping. Pat your dogs. You really connect with them. It's like, it's just the thing that I get on psilocybin mushrooms is this enormous amount of love. Just love, you know. All your belief structures gets taken down, and you don't define yourself on what you believe. You don't define yourself on, you know, what kind of political stance you have, or what kind of worldview you have. You don't identify with any of that. That just is gone. That duality of right and wrong is just gone. So you see it in other people, like you see people just getting frustrated and angry and upset because people don't have the same worldview as they do. But all that gets dropped away on psychedelics. And none of it matters. None of it matters because, in a sense, all philosophies... Yeah. Okay. All philosophies and all belief structures and all worldviews, all sense of right and wrong, all of that, in a sense, all of it is just mind games, and, you know, what's real is what's right here and now. So anyway, I got ready and then it was time to leave. Another thing is that I'm just really fucking confident. This thing, psychedelics, are such a great tool to use if you have social anxiety, which I do. It really takes that away and just returns you back to your innate confidence that you were born with. This innate confidence, this innate sovereignty that you have. A lot of us think that... A lot of us feel shame just for existing. A lot of us feel like we don't deserve to exist. A lot of us feel like a burden in life. We feel like a burden to other people. And all that shit gets dropped away when you take psychedelics. You belong here. You're home. This is your home. Wherever you are in life, whatever you do, everywhere you go, it's always home. I remember thinking like, I'm home. This is it. I've arrived. There's nowhere else but this. There's nothing else but this. There's no path to anything. There's no attainment of anything. This is it. This is it. So anyway, went out the house, walked to the bus stop. I remember waiting for the bus. I just sat down at the bus stop and I closed my eyes. And this was a really profound experience because I closed my eyes and it felt like I was God. It felt like I was the whole of existence. And the whole world was just an illusion. All the sounds and sensations that were appearing within consciousness when I had my eyes closed, I realized that this was all just this was all just a play that God is dreaming up. And none of it's real. Now, everything that I say here, I'm not saying that this is true, but what I'm saying is that this is the insights that came to me, and this is what it felt like. I had a moment where it felt like when I was walking to the bus stop and when I had my eyes closed when I was sitting at the bus stop, I had a couple of moments where, I was walking to the bus stop and I closed my eyes as well as I was walking, and I remember thinking like, this is it, like, there is only me. Like, it's just me, and it's like, the sooner the better I fucking realized this. That it's just me and there's nothing to do. It's just me. It's just the self. It's just the big capital S self. It's just reality. It's just this. I had another moment when I was sitting at the bus stop of like infinity. Like, this is really hard to explain, but it was really cool to have this insight. It was really hard, but basically it was like, what I recognize is that the infinitely outward is the same as infinitely inward, and who I am is reality. It's really hard to explain, and it's really hard to remember what I kind of felt and experienced. But holy fuck, dude, it was like, anyway, the bus came and I went and sat up right at the back. Another guy was sitting there at the back, and there were empty seats on the bus, but I sat right up the back next to this guy. And, that wasn't unusual. That's not unusual. But in the culture that I'm in, that's fucking unusual. That is unusual. I remember sitting there after, I was like, fuck, why did I just sit next to this guy right at the back of the bus when there's empty seats everywhere else? Why did I do that? But you see, that's the conditioning coming on, and I just let go of that pretty quickly. But when I sat down there, I looked and he looked at me. It kind of felt like, it's just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? But yeah, I was on the bus, and that was a nice thing. else to say, but main insight I got from this, like, so I went to this performance, and it was outside, and there were lots of people there. Well, not lots of people, but then, a handful of people. And I thought it's crazy how much my social anxiety decreases. It's like it's just gone. It's non-existent. So I got there, and I went up to this group of people. I was like half an hour early, and I was like, "Is this where the performance is?" It's like, "Yeah, a bit early." You see, right there, that's like an unusual thing for me to do. Like, that's not easy to just go up and ask people. So anyway, I played around over there, and then a lot more people came in, and I found this like AirPod case like that. This isn't the one, but something similar like that. That you got earbuds, no earbuds in it, just the case. And I picked it up and I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I was like, oh, well, I've got to ask people if they've dropped it. And you see, this thought just came into me. Like, I've got to ask all these people if it's theirs and if they've dropped it. And it was the most easiest thing ever. When, if I wasn't on psychedelics, that would be the most daunting, difficult thing ever. And I wouldn't have done it. I would have picked up this AirPods case and I would have gone, oh, I could ask people, if it's theirs, but nah, I'll maybe just set it down on like a seat and hopefully other people come and see. So anyway, like, so much fucking confidence within me. I went, and there was like, probably like 6 individual groups of like 2 to 3 people, and I went to each group, was like, have you lost an AirPods case? And they're like, no. Have you and I went to each fucking group asking. And that's like, really, I mean, to you, I don't know who's watching this, but to you, it may sound like, bro, what the fuck, this is the easiest thing, like, what are you talking about, like, this is not some, like, but to me, it was. That's a difficult thing for me to do in my normal state of consciousness. But on psychedelics, the most naturalist thing ever, and it was easy, and there was no fear in me. So that was something that I thought was cool. Another thing was there was a person with a greyhound dog, and I remember just sitting next to him, sitting next to the dog, giving her pats. And and I was just having a conversation with the owner, which was another fucking big thing. It was definitely not. It's definitely, I've got social anxiety. That's a fucking hard thing to do. And here I am, just plonking myself down right at this dog and then having a conversation with this person. A really loving conversation. All biases get thrown out the window. All right and wrong get thrown out the window, and but the main thing that I got out of this whole trip is that how much fucking ego there is in everybody. Everybody. You see, I was like walking around just like, people have given away their sovereignty. I was looking at people and they're all like kind of stiff and like, I don't belong here. Like, I don't deserve to exist. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not, all kind of stiff and like, I'm not able to do anything. And this reminds me of when I was on the bus and someone came on, an Asian woman. She came on trying to look at the seats, and because like at the back there were empty seats, and she came on. I looked in her eyes, and she was really fearful. Like she was contemplating. I could see she was contemplating whether to sit at the kind of rear end of the bus, where there were free seats, and she was like, like her eyes. I could just see the fear in her eyes, of not wanting to, go up the back where there's, I don't know. So she just like sat next to somebody else, right? But anyway, so I'm at the performance and like talking to people. But yeah, what I recognize is that there's so much ego in people. You see, like it just seems that no one's real. No one wants to be fucking real. I see in people, they're all trying to impose their imagined self onto you. Like, they're all trying to be somebody that isn't who they actually are. They're all trying to maintain a character. They're all trying to maintain some kind of persona. And like, instead of like just being what you are, people don't be what they are. Like, what I mean is, like, for instance, say if you're feeling like you're not in like the best of moods, and you're just kind of sluggish, and you're kind of, not feeling all that great, most people will disregard that and act in a positive way, when it's like, why are you doing that? You're fooling yourself. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you acting different than you are? It's like you're in some kind of mood that's real for you, but you're acting in a way that isn't. You're trying to be like positive or something, and you're trying to come across a certain way. I see a lot of people trying to come across a certain way. They're like, I want to be perceived as this, I want to be identified as this, and they're constantly sending out that energy. And I just look at that and like, what are you doing? You don't have to do that. You don't have to want to be perceived in any way. You don't have to be perceived in the way that you want to be perceived in. You don't have to, like, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna fucking create that identity that you're trying to assert yourself to be, because that's not who you are. And I'm not gonna fucking believe in that, because it's false. And at the end of the day, it hurts you, and it fucking hurts me. It fucking hurts me. I just see ego everywhere I fucking go, and it hurts because I'm fucking alone. No one's doing this waking up business. I can't speak to anyone about this because everyone's just living in a fucking dream world. It's frustrating. And I'm not saying like I'm a fucking saint or whatever. I get lost in my own dream world a fuck ton, but all I'm saying is that I know that that happens, and I'm doing everything that I can to not be doing that, because it causes suffering at the end of the day, for myself and for others. So I noticed this within a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people. I notice within a lot of people. They're scared of what other people are going to think of them, so they have to try and. Everyone's like seeking validation and approval from other people. It's like, do you like me? They're constantly sending out a signal saying like, do you like me? Am I good enough? Do I deserve to exist? And it's like, stop. It's sad. It's sad to see that this is what's happening. It's like, you don't need to try. You don't need to be anything that you're not. Just be you. A lot of people hinge their sense of worth and adequacy on what they do in life. You know, when people ask you the question like, oh, what you been up to? What do you do? And a lot of people are like, oh fuck, I've got to say something that this person's gonna see me as like someone that's doing hard work, that's succeeding and achieving in life. I've got to say something so this person knows that I'm actually not just being a lazy person and actually doing shit. When it's like, just cut it out, man. Just, we're all the same. It's just very clear on psychedelics. It's really fucking clear that people are thinking themselves to be the stories that they create in their head about who they are. You know, this is what's happened to me, this is what I'm doing. But it's like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, all you have is right here, right now. And any concept that you have about yourself, that can't ever be you, because any concept about yourself is always referring to some kind of past event, and that could be gone. It's gone now. I could say like, oh, like I have trouble with social anxiety, but it's like, do I? Is that true right here, right now? And it's like, of course not. It's just a mental story that I'm asserting onto myself, which limits myself. We're living in the past. So anyway, there was that. So after the performance, went and hung out with some friends. Another thing that I'm constantly doing more and more is maintaining eye contact with every person and not breaking away from that. And really sending love, maintaining eye contact, and a lot of people look away because the longer you stare into someone's eyes, the longer they stare into your eyes, love is inevitable. But love is the absence of ego. And the ego is trying to hold on. So when you stare into someone's eyes, they look away because they don't want to lose their ego. But the ego is what's holding you back from being in love with the world and everybody and yourself. It's really interesting because I notice a lot of people, I'm just giving them like eye contact and just kind of resting in love, and they're like fidgeting and like looking around a lot and kind of making facial expressions that are sending out a signal of like I'm trying to get your validation and approval. Do you think I'm worthy of existing? Do I deserve to exist? Am I a good person? And I just ignore all that because it's all bullshit. I'm not gonna reinforce the bullshit. I'm not gonna reinforce the falseness because that's what causes suffering. So I ignore all that and I just, give them love. I pierce through their ego, pierce through this false self that they're asserting onto themselves, and go straight to the being behind it, go straight to their essence. I don't give a shit what your worldview is. I don't give a shit who you think you are. I don't give a shit if you think you're worthy or not of existing. I am just going to go behind that veil and love the being underneath it, because that's who you truly are. And I'm not going to reinforce this false self. So I fucking love psilocybin mushrooms because they give me such confidence. They take away my social anxiety. They make everything fun. It gets you in touch with the mystery of existing and gets you in touch with the truth, and you pierce through your own and everyone else's ego and you just rest in loving awareness. And then, of course, it wears off. Which seems like it never will. It's really weird because you take these psychedelics and it seems like this is the most natural state there is. I'm in complete flow. I'm flowing with nature. Effortlessly. This is effortless. To be confident, to be loving is effortless because it's the nature of reality in a sense. And it's like, how will I ever lose this? Like, I don't have to try to do anything. And of course the drugs wear away. And then you're back in your ego. And you've got all this effort, Because your normal state of waking consciousness is that you're putting in a lot of effort. Effort is habitual. You think that, just sitting down and doing nothing, you think that that's effortless, but actually you're using a ton of effort. All the mind games that you're creating and imagining, that takes up a lot of energy and effort. So on mushrooms, it's like, how will this ever fade away when I don't need to do anything? And then the mind comes back in complaining. I remember when it came in, I was like, fuck. The mind's coming again, complaining about something. And I go, oh fuck, it has. And then there's just this dualistic battle in the mind, back and forth. And that's where you get stuck again. And it's fucked up because when you're in this state, it feels like, you know, how will I ever miss this ever again in life? It's staring me right in the face. It's closer than close. How will I ever miss this? Like, it doesn't feel like the drugs is what's making me in this state. It just feels like this is my natural state. And how am I ever going to miss this in every moment? But of course the drugs were away and you do, and you're sat there wondering like, how the fuck am I back in this fucking ego state? How the fuck am I back in suffering? When it's... I don't know. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about, just this kind of day that I've had. It's been a fucking amazing day. I've had one of the best days I've ever had in my life. It was very lovely. And I just wish that I could somehow get to this state sober. And I believe you can, because in a sense it's not a state. I mean, of course you take mushrooms, it is a state, but the thing that I recognize is not a state. The thing that I recognize is here always, and I just need to recognize it. I don't know. Thanks for watching.